Hey guys, it's Dmitry here, and in this tutorial I'm going to discuss about another new functionality in JavaScript that was introduced recently in ES2020. So, and as you can see from again from this last proposal, it's called Promise.all.settled, and essentially the meeting itself, it was TC39. It's kind of official meeting of the guys who developing all this functionality. It was this meeting was in July, in July 2019, right? And again, all this this proposal, it's a finished proposal or finalized one, right? So essentially now we can use it officially. Okay guys, let's jump to the example. I'm going to create promises, and as you remember guys, probably from some previous tutorials, promises, why do we need promises, so-called promises? So usually, we use promises when we, for example, call some remote source, right? For example, some API calls, and when we're not sure when we receive the actual result, right? So in this case we need promises, guys. It's something asynchronous. So, and we also define a couple of terms like promise is rejected and promise resolved, resolution and rejection, right? So guys, let's create a new promises. I'm going to create a couple of new promises. I'm going to define const promise1 and equal to, and this is the keyword how to create a promise, promise.resolve, and I'm going straight away to resolve this promise. So, and I'm going resolve it as a 3, right, with the value 3. It's basically, guys, for the sake of example, right? So on the second promise, promise2 equal to, I'm going to create a new promise. That's why I have to use this keyword new, and again promise. And here I'm going to resolve it, right? But with a time delay. Resolve. And basically why I going to bother myself with this set timeout, I'm going to do that because later on I'm also going to reject this promise. So in order to come up with different examples, guys, it just would easier to show that using this set timeout. Set, and by the way, this set timeout, it's a standard JavaScript functionality. Timeout, then resolve, and after 100 milliseconds, and with the value foo. It's kind of standard value that used always in majority of tutorials, guys. Promises equal to, and I'm going to create an array of these promises. And I'm going to explain you guys why I done it. So guys, originally before having this functionality, right, we could use Promise.all functionality, right? And what this functionality does, essentially, if you would like to work with the multiple promises at the same time and return it as an array of promises, then this is the functionality to go. The only issue with this functionality, guys, if even one of the promises is rejected, this promise.all is not going to return anything, right? Everything going to be rejected, obviously. So, and I will show you guys what the problem is. Promise.all, and I'm just going to place promise here, this actual array, right? So, and now I'm going to, as you remember guys, we're using then, keyword then with promises. Come on. Then, and then I'm just going to say results, and I'm just going to iterate through each promise, guys. And I'm going to use for each, basically for each method, result dot for each result. So these promises, they already resolved, right? And then I'm going just to iterate through each result of this of all the resolved promises, guys. So, and I'm just going to log out the actual result of each resolved promise. Console.log, and actual result, right? Cool. So let's see guys what will happen here in case of Promise.all. Let's run it. Right, it doesn't like something. Okay, probably I forgot bracket, right? Let's run it again. Okay, one more bracket here. Alright guys, let's run it. You can see, so now both promises going to be resolved, and actually Promise.all should work, right? And we should get the result. Let's see what we will get. So this is the actual result, right? 3 and foo, which is expected result, right? Here we're asking for, we're receiving 3, right? And here the value is foo. So resolve, all good, right? But let's just reject the second promise. And not to reject it, guys, I'm just going to say reject. And over here I'm going to say reject. And let's run it now. Here we go, guys. So the issue is because one of the promises is rejected, then the whole array of these promises, it's going to be rejected essentially. Now let's use this new functionality, all settled, right? Let's see what will happen in case of all settled. And first let's just return all the resolved promises. So guys, here we go, right? You can see straight away that first of all, okay, you can see the actual values, right? But actually you're receiving not just actual values, right? But you're receiving the object that for each promise you're receiving an object that contains the information about the status of this promise, right? That it was fulfilled, or in case of if it, okay, I will show you in case if it rejected what will happen in this case. But you can see like both promises, they were fulfilled, and the results are 3 and 4, right? Basically it says that both of them, they were resolved and fulfilled. So which is kind of a good thing, right? Because we can see straight away more than just the values, right, received, but also extra information about these actual promises, right? What happened. So now let's reject the second promise. Reject, and run it again, right? So guys, you can see, right, still the second promise, it's showing you, right, that the second promise was rejected, right, and reason foo. So essentially we're not going to receive the actual value, right, but it's still going to give us the result, right, it's not going to reject everything and just give us an exception, right, in case of when we use in Promise.all. So guys, the most important thing to understand from the differences between Promise.all and Promise.all.Settled, that it depends on the case that you're trying to cover. Because in some cases, guys, it would be necessary for you to use Promise.all. If even one of the promises is rejected, then you need to reject all of the promises, right? Or you don't want to receive any of that, right? Any of these promises. So then you have to go with Promise.all. But in case if you don't care that one of the promises or a couple of them they were rejected out of the whole array of promises, then guys, Promise.all.Settled probably is the way to go. Because in this case you still will get a feedback. Even the promise is rejected, you're still going to get a feedback, this kind of feedback with status, right, that it was rejected and so on. You still can trace like which promises were rejected and which were fulfilled. So yeah, guys, it's a case by case, but I hope you got the idea that in some cases probably you still don't want to go with this new functionality, but in others that's the way to go, guys. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap up this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope you like this tutorial. And if you like it, please press this like button, and please guys subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I would really appreciate it. And I see you next time, guys. Goodbye.